Doing well. Welcome back to my channel Code Fusion Hub. So, from today onwards, we are going to look at a bit difficult level questions. They are a easy level over here only, but we are going to use joins, what is left join, what is inner join, outer join, etc. You'll get to know about all these questions now. It would be a bit difficult than the previous one that we have solved. So we would be using concatenating and many other things that we are going to need to master this SQL. Okay. So try to be attentive while the video is playing. If you don't understand any of them, just replay the video once or twice and you'll get to know like what approach is being required to solve the problem. Okay, so don't hesitate to pause the video and think over the problem and then come up with a solution of your own and then match it with mine, that where are you have stuck over there. So make sure you have subscribed to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any update from the whole playlist that we are going to continue for 45 days. So we have got a lot more exciting content that has been lined up. So make sure you are tuning up to the content all the time. So let's start with our today's question. So our question for today over here would be one. Let me check what question we are going to do today. Yeah. Okay. 1407 is the question that we are going to pick today. So that is an easy level over here, but now we are going to use a bit complex things, that is joins and all. So just make sure that you are focused, and if you find it quite difficult, then just practice it twice or thrice. You'll get to know how to solve on the problem. Okay. So, our today's question is about 1407, that is nothing but top travelers. Okay, so here given we have a table which is named as users, which has specific columns, that is ID and name, which has data type int and where given over here. Okay, now ID here is the column with unique values. Okay, so ID doesn't have any duplicates present in the table, and the name is the name of the user. Okay, now we have another table over here. Till now we have seen that we used to have only one table, but now we are having two tables. Okay. So second table is about rides, in which we have specific columns, that is ID, user ID, distance, and all are of int type because they are numeric. So ID is the column with the unique values again, and user ID is the ID of the user who traveled the distance. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to find the solution for the distance that is traveled by each user. Okay, so how much distance is been covered by every user, we need to mention it over here. Now we have to return the result table ordered traveling distance descending order. Okay, so according to the traveling distance we get, we have to arrange the data in descending order. Okay, and if two or more users travel the same distance, then order them by their name in ascending order. Okay, if suppose we have two values, okay, which are same for the distance, so how would we arrange them in descending order, correct? So there is another condition: if two or more users have traveled the same distance, then according to the name we have to arrange them in ascending order. Sounds a bit complex, but it is not though. So let's just have a look at the example that has been given over here. Of the users table, we have IDs and name. We have specific IDs, just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and so on, and their name against that. That ID 1 name is Alice, ID 2 name is Bob, and so on. This is the users table, and this is the rides table where we have this user ID, okay, which is mentioned over here, and the distance, and the distance that the user has traveled over here. Now what we want in the output is the name. Okay, the name comes from the user table, correct, and second is the distance that has been traveled, which comes from this table. Okay, so we need to get the data of this table and of this table and this table, correct. We want the data from both of the tables. Now what we'll be doing is we'll just look at the explanation first, that what is the meaning of these tables and how do we get this output over here. Now suppose you have Elvis and Lee. Okay, they have both traveled 450 miles. Okay, they are having the same distance. We have arranged them in descending order, but they are having the same distance. So Elvis is considered as the top traveler because alphabetically it is smaller than L, correct? So this Elvis is becoming the top traveler over here. Now next for Bob, Jonathan, Alex and Alice. Okay, they have only one ride and we just order them by total distances of their same orders. Now Donald here, okay, did not have any rides. Okay, he didn't have any rides only. So we'll replace by 0 over here. That 0 distance has been covered by this person, that is Donald. Okay, so now let me just we have to sum it all up. Okay, so suppose this is the user ID, that is 1, that is Alice, and this is present over here. So how much distance it has covered is 120. Okay, so Alice has distance 120. So like that we have to mention all of that. And if suppose there are multiple rides, that say, let's say for Elvis, that is ID 19, we have two rides over here. One is covering 50 miles distance, and other one is 400. So we have to add that 400 plus 50, that will give you 450. Okay, so for this, what all we would be requiring is to be mentioned first over here. Okay, so try to pause the video and try to check that what do you think, that what approach should be using over here. Okay, so drop your answers in the comment section below and let me know that what approach you think would be appropriate for this. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll use left join over here because we have two tables and we want the data from both of the tables. So we have to apply join over here to join both the tables. Now, how do we know that we have to apply a left join over here? Now, first of all, for those who don't know about what is a left join is nothing but a join which returns all the rows from the left table. Okay, so our left table is users over here. So it returns all the rows which are present in the users table. Okay, and finds the matching rows in the right table, that is our rights table. Okay, so what we'll get is we'll get all the data that is present over here in the users table, all the rows. Okay, and then it would go and match in the rights table. Okay, so if it doesn't find any match over here, that is let's say here for Donald. Okay, this has been mentioned because we have got all the rows from the users table according to the left join. Now it would go and find it in the right table, right? So 4 is not present over here, so it will set the value as null over here. Okay, so if we don't get any matching record according to that, we'll set the value as null over here. Okay, but now here what we are getting is 0. Okay, we can't show the travel distance is null over here. We have to show that it's 0. Okay, so for that, what are we going to use is coalesce. Okay, now this function is used here to handle the cases where there are no rights which is recorded for a user. Okay, so if there are no rights, it means the distance is going to be null. Okay, so it replaces the null with a 0 over here. Okay, so I'll just give you the spelling of this. This is coalesce. Okay, so if you are getting null anywhere and you don't want to show null, you want to replace it by another value. Okay, let's say we are replacing it with 0. So it will replace the null values with 0 over here. Okay, so these are the main functions that we are going to use into our query. So let's start with a solution over here. First of all, here we want the name and the travel distance, correct? So do we have the name? Yes, we have the name from the users table, so we don't have to do anything over here. Second is the distance. Okay, the traveled distance is nothing but the sum of all the respective user ID. Okay, so we have 19 two times. So what we do? We won't show 19 here, matlab two IDs over here. Okay, we would just go and add those IDs over here, distance. Okay, so we'll just first of all select name. Okay, and after selecting the name, so let's say we are going to use alias over here, so we don't have to write the whole thing again and again. Okay, so we have the user table, we are naming it as U, and the riders table as R over here, so that we don't have to use it again and again. It's just a short form. Okay, so we got the name from the users table, and then we are going to apply this coalesce over here. Now what are we going to do is we are going to say that I want the sum of the rides table distance. Okay, the distance of the rides table, I want to sum it up according to specific IDs, and if I get the sum as null, then set it as 0. Okay, that is what we wanted, that if we get the value as null over here, we would set it as 0. Okay, and we have to name the table as travel distance, that is mentioned over here, correct? So we have to mention this as traveled distance. Okay, so we have selected the name, we have selected the travel distance, we have sum it up, and if we find the value as null, we replace it with a 0. Okay, so we get this from a users table, which I am giving the alias as U, correct? So that I don't have to write this users again and again. Now we would use the left join over here. Now what does my left join do is I have to left join the rights table. Okay, so the thing that the table that you write before the left join is our left side table, and the one you write after the applying the join is our right table. Okay, so you are applying join on this users and rights. Okay, so rights is denoted by R. Okay, the syntax goes as rights on, we want the ID from the users table, and the same we want from the rights table. Okay, into the rights table, the say this ID is named as user ID over here. Okay, this is the user ID, that is nothing but the ID of the users table. So we are applying the left join over on this and this, so it will go and first of all give all the rows present in the user table, it will return me all the user ID, and then it will find that is my user ID equal to the right user ID. Okay, if they are matching, then it would return me that. If they aren't, then it would return me a null value, and null value would be replaced by a 0 using coalesce. Okay, so we have to use this group by over here. Okay, we are grouping the user ID and the user name over here. Okay, now these groups are the result set. Okay, by the ID and the name columns over here. Okay, so whenever you use the group by, you are essentially grouping the rows which are having similar values in this specified columns together. And now lastly we'll use the order by. Okay, order by, for what we had to set the order as, we had to set this in descending order. Okay, we have to set the travel distance that is mentioned over here, we have to order by travel distance in descending order. Okay, so let's say this, and if two or more users travel the same distance, okay, then order them by their name in ascending order. Okay, so what would you do is you just mention this over here. So if the traveled distance, okay, spelling is wrong over here. So if the travel distance is in descending order, then what you are going to do is after that you are going to check the names are to be in ascending order. So if you don't mention anything after this, it by default take the value as ascending. Let's just run and check. Yes, so our test case has been accepted over here, and this was the input, and we got the output that we were expecting over here. Okay, so we got Elvis over here. So let's go and check. Elvis has ID 19. We'll go and check for ID 19. ID 19 has two values over here, that is 50 and 450. So it has been summed up to 450, correct? And for Donald, we don't have any rides over here. That is the ID 4. Okay, so ID 4 is not present over here. That means Donald did not have any ride in the whole table that we have. So it is null. Okay, so the null is been replaced by 0 using the coalesce over here. This is for the given example and input over here. We'll just submit our code to check that all the hidden test cases are also evaluated as per this condition and no test case is being failed according to the query that we have written over here. So yes, though test cases are accepted over here, all the hidden test cases are also successfully passed over here. Okay, so this was all about today's video. I hope so you have understood the concept of how to apply a left join over here. Okay, we have just applied a left join and we have just grouped and ordered by the same. It was quite a bit challenging one. So I request you all to practice it twice or thrice and look into the problem and try to understand the approach. If you have any doubts, then you can comment down below in the comment section and I'll help you get through it. I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. And if you like the video, then please do hit the like button and share it with all your friends and colleagues too. I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye bye.